5,000 years ago, the region of Mesopotamia was a harsh, arid landscape dotted with isolated, fiercely independent city-states. When conflicts erupted over river access or a strip of fertile soil, leaders drafted local farmers into temporary militias to fight for immediate survival. At the time, uniting these warring neighbors into a single political entity was an unsolved logistical hurdle. Building an empire meant solving two problems simultaneously. First, conquering vast territories, and second, feeding hundreds of thousands of new subjects once he won. Solving these two distinct problems led to two enduring institutions: the first professional standing army and the first complex tax engine. Around 2334 BCE, Sargon of Akkad addressed the conquest problem by replacing seasonal farmers with a full-time professional standing army. This carving reveals a strictly organized infantry force. Sargon deployed his troops in disciplined mathematical phalanxes, breaking them down into units of 10, 60, and 600 men. He then integrated archers carrying composite bows, allowing his forces to unleash a barrage of ranged attacks before hand-to-hand combat began. This lower panel shows heavy battle carts drawn by wild asses. Sargon used these vehicles to break enemy lines and trample fleeing combatants. Using this combined arms approach, Sargon erased the old borders, conquering city after city until his domain reached from the Persian Gulf to the Mediterranean Sea. A professional army is effective at taking land, but it creates a massive logistical liability, a population of soldiers who consume immense resources but produce no food. A few centuries later, the rulers of the Third Dynasty of Ur recognized that military might had to be supported by a strictly planned economy. This map illustrates the Bala, or exchange tax system. Under this model, provinces contributed taxes based on their specialized local resources. Gursu supplied grain, while Umma provided leather and wood. As these charts show, the volume flowing through this network was massive. Administrators tracked up to 188 million liters of grain and tens of thousands of livestock every single year. To manage this wealth, the state built massive administrative centers. Great ziggurats functioned as the central processing and redistribution hubs for the entire imperial economy. This clay tablet features dense, organized rows of cuneiform script. Scribes used this technology to record every transaction, ensuring both the military and the state were fed. By feeding 500,000 specialized citizens and soldiers, the Ur Third Dynasty proved that while the sword wins an empire, the accountant's ledger is what keeps it from fracturing. However, by the reign of King Ibbi-Sin, this structure began to expose a vulnerability. Deep interconnectedness creates fragility. The collapse was triggered when the Amorite nomads breached the empire's defensive borders, disrupting the local agricultural supply chains. That disruption tipped the first domino. Because the farming lands were compromised, the outer provinces were unable to send their required Bala tax to the central state. Stripped of that revenue and grain, the central government could no longer feed or supply its own professional standing army. This diagram illustrates the resulting doom loop. A starving military couldn't repel the incursions. Defense weakened, resulting in less tax collection, which further weakened the military. This caused a 2,000% hyperinflation of basic goods and total systemic collapse. Mesopotamia established the first large-scale systems of military and economic organization, but they also left a warning. The larger and more complex a society's systems become, the more catastrophic its collapse will be when a single link breaks.